This is a Heart and Hand production. Hello everyone, it's David here with a breaking news update for you, and that news is that James Bisgrove will be leaving Rangers. He's going to Saudi Arabia to take a job with a club over there. Rangers have issued a statement. It reads the following: Rangers can confirm Chief Executive Officer James Bisgrove will leave the club, having accepted a new football role in the Middle East. The Rangers board has implemented an interim executive structure, and together with John Bennett, Philippe Clement, Niels Koppen and the football board will prioritise the execution of the summer transfer activity. John Bennett will assume the role of executive chairman on an interim basis to ensure continuity and support to the wider executive team as they focus on executing our plans for the summer, both on and off the pitch. The executive chairman will lead a team comprising current executives. They are Chief Financial Officer James Taylor, Director of Football Recruitment Niels Koppen, Football Operations Director Craig Robertson and Chief Commercial Officer Karim Virani. John Bennett commented, "I would like to thank James for the work he has done at the club over the last 5 years as Commercial and Marketing Director and latterly as our CEO. Our commercial revenues grew significantly under James's leadership, while in the last year he was an integral part of the off-field restructuring the club has implemented. The executive team James helped shape has firmly established itself, and I fully expect its momentum to be uninterrupted. We wish James every success with his new role." This has been a bit out of the blue. I don't think it was expected, or certainly there were no whispers about it, about James Bisgrove leaving the club. Now, what this means for Rangers clearly is that we're going to have to find a new chief executive. That goes without saying. Timing isn't ideal, but there never really is. It's always busy at a football club. That's the point. But he's been at Ibrox for 5 years, but he's leaving for a newly promoted side in Saudi Arabia, Al Qadsiya. The Saudi Arabian market, as we said before, slightly different in that people are appointed almost centrally from within a central pool and then kind of farmed it to clubs. So it's not specifically you're going, a club approaches you directly kind of thing. They'll say we need a chief executive officer, and then they get in talks with the money men, the people who pay for it at the PIF, and things are done from there. Clearly, the financial offer from Saudi will be incredible. It will be something that dwarves anything that you can earn in the UK. I mean, never mind Scottish football, British football. That's how they attract the talent over there in the first place. And it means that Bisgrove will be away after a year. So, in terms of the future for Rangers, we will need to hire a new chief executive. There's no doubt about that. You would assume that plans have been in place for this, with the news coming, and that Rangers will have people that they may have identified previously as potential suitors to that. John Bennett will be the person who leads that drive. He will be the person who then looks to bring someone in, and Rangers will have to adapt to that and see what the future brings for it. On a personal note, I always found James Bisgrove to be very good to deal with, and he was certainly always straightforward with me, certainly very honest with me. And he was somebody who wanted to communicate more with the support. You'll remember he was the only board director who came out at the time of Sydney and spoke with us here and took a pelting here and on various other platforms. He went out and did that. He introduced the CEO Fans Forum. And I think that this is something that whoever comes in will have to replicate, will have to do well, will have to push, because it's something that I think Rangers could still improve in. And we've been discussing it this week on the flagship, as you know. But James Bisgrove will be leaving the club. So John Bennett will now be making an appointment, and it is a key appointment. Let's not fool ourselves here. The appointment of a chief executive is absolutely massive. The person who comes in is responsible for the day-to-day running of the club. And yes, the chairman has a huge amount of influence and the board have a huge amount of influence, but the CEO is the person who can shape the direction of the club, who takes the smaller decisions that add up to the bigger decisions, that oversees hiring and firing at that level, and is the person that we need to go out and fight for us and make sure that we're being represented with the SPFL, who are not well disposed to Rangers, with the SFA, who are not particularly well disposed to Rangers, and they need to be the one who go out there and make sure our voice is heard in the greater football community. So whether or not that means you bring in someone from out with football, from a business background, whether or not you look for someone who is in football, maybe doing the role at another club, that will be the thing that Rangers need to do moving forward. James Bisgrove was somebody who had a lot more modern ideas than the previous incumbent, Stuart Robertson. And again, I think that's the path we need to continue down, because we can't be left behind as football is changing. We've got to be receptive to that. For me, as I say, communication is a key thing. But it's like everything. If they make the right decisions and get the right people and run the club well, the club is a lot easier to run when it's winning things. It really is that simple. The lifeblood of this club is its support. That's a fact here. Television money is never going to be the lifeblood of this club the way it is in certain leagues. It's always going to be the support. And you can get the support on side if you treat them with respect, if you speak to us like we're adults, but most importantly, if you win football matches, because that's what this club is about. We have massively underperformed in the last 15 years, and we know that there were reasons for that initially, but the last 5 years Rangers have underperformed. We've got to get back to being the number one team in Scotland. We're not that right now, and there cannot be an acceptance that is our position. We need to be fighting and bucking and kicking against that to get ourselves out of that. So it promises then to be another big summer at Rangers, another summer of change. And again, that we don't want to be doing this every year. That's another thing. You want to be bringing in people who will stay, and that will make sure that you have this continuity in place. But the reality is, in football, where there are offers like this that come to people, then you do have to be aware that people can leave, can move to other clubs. So you should always have a continuity plan in place, and it'll be interesting to see what that plan is. Right then, folks, thank you very much. Colin will have more for this on the update for you tomorrow. So until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
That was a Heart and Hand production.